I had a really strong rule that if you missed more than a game, that you're not going to be a part of my Heisman ballot. And Hendon Hooker had missed a game and a half. So I kind of just took him off in the back of my mind. I mean, I didn't consciously, and I think I've mentioned to you before, I really kind of hunker down what I'll do Sunday when I put together my ballot. And I started thinking over the weekend, though, and part of it was probably a little bit sentimental because, I like the guy. But the way he's bouncing around and the way he's on the sidelines, and he made the trip, even though probably doctors would have told him to stay at home, but he went to Vanderbilt. You want that swelling to go down as fast as possible. And then instead, he goes and he's supporting a team jumping around as much as he can. So I thought to myself, and I was talking with another Heisman voter, and he said he might still be on my ballot. And part of this is twofold. One, what he meant to Tennessee. Now, there's probably me covering Tennessee that I know more about him than I do Caleb Williams. But you mentioned the F bomb Notre Dame nails. That wasn't fantastic. So that tells you a little bit more about his character. But so Caleb Williams is probably going to win the award, especially after CJ Stroud stumbled in the loss to Michigan. So that's probably who we're talking about. And I get that. Stroud right now, if you look at the odds from Vegas, they're second. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I would have Max Duggan, the TCU ahead of him. But nevertheless, you're going to have a Stroud to overcome to even get on somebody's ballot. Stetson Bennett could get the career award, but to me, that's not what the Heisman is about. It's about one season. So if you look at the odds, Hendon Hooker is not even on the list, but there's not a runaway winner this year. So, Amanda, am I crazy to think after missing a game and a half that Hendon Hooker should at least be on? You get 3 selections, should be on the ballot. Is that insane?
I don't think that's insane. I think Hendon Hooker's done a lot for Tennessee. I think he's done a lot this year in college football. Going with that, I don't have a Heisman vote, but as soon as Bryce Young got hurt, I took him off the list of Heisman, potential Heisman winners because he did get hurt. In that, in the game and missed the game against A&M. So if you're going to have Hendon Hooker and keep him on the ballot, because honestly, in the Heisman, character doesn't matter anymore. They even took it out of the creed for that reason, because it's clear that it doesn't matter.
But it is so wide open that it could mean something to an individual voter.
Well, correct, to an individual voter, but according to the Heisman creed, I think we all know what's going to happen. Hendon Hooker might be mentioned on there. Bryce Young might be mentioned. There's some other players that might be mentioned, but we know Caleb Williams is going to win it. I mean, I think everybody knows Caleb Williams is going to win it, even though I don't agree with it, because I think characters should play a role in the Heisman. I think it was in there to begin with, and they took it out because of all of the winners being the best player on the best team, or the most flashy, or the best to watch, or what have you. I think character should play a role in the Heisman. My issue with Caleb Williams is, and this is again just how I like to watch college football. I like watching college football where players go out and they let their playing do the talking. They leave it on the field. They let their, the way they win or the way they lead their team. I think Hendon Hooker's an example, a prime example of somebody that leads his team in such a way that he doesn't have to do Heisman moves on the sidelines, after scoring, because Caleb Williams did that against Notre Dame. He did that.
Caleb likes him some Caleb all of a sudden.
He really does, and I don't find that to be endearing, because I think you should. I like Hendon because Hendon goes out and he plays the game, and he's not doing the Heisman moves. He's not writing F-bombs on his fingernails. I don't know when that became a trend, but okay. He's not doing that. He just lets his style of play and his leadership do the talking. That, in my mind, and maybe that's why there's not more women out there voting on the Heisman, because I feel like we would be like, no, we like the good guy, the like sweet guy that goes out there and leads his team and doesn't make a spectacle of everything. And it's just, I'm here, I'm the leader, my team is following me, and I'm going to lead them to victory, which I think Hendon did a lot of. Caleb Williams, to me, he's going to be another Baker Mayfield. He's going to be another Johnny Manziel. He's going to be another, Jameis Winston, a flash of, oh, you're so great. And then, boop, you're gone because your ego gets in the way.
Yep. I could definitely see that. Be sure and hit that like button. We appreciate you watching. We're with you each and every morning, weekday morning at 8:30 Eastern time. David said he won't win, but he is in the top 5. I think he got hurt, missed a game. It's the same reason why Bryce Young won't win it again this year.
Yeah.
So you from different perspectives, you both brought up Bryce Young. There's one that I think that voters should pay more attention to. I know they're not, but because he won it last year, but that Alabama team is a 4-loss team if they've got a major downgrade at quarterback.
Well, clearly.
He is just, I could sit here and make an argument if I could pull all the highlights and line up the top 10 highlights from the year, and you'd say Bryce Young, you'd say that guy, whoever that guy is. If you didn't know what football was, you'd say that guy. I mean, easily. I'll give him the ultimate compliment. He needs to be a Dallas Cowboy one day. Which,
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
That's the land of false and tainted hopes and dreams.
I don't know if he has quite the ego for Dallas. I don't know if he has quite that kind of. I feel like at Dallas you have to talk crap and you have to like be some kind of like big.
I don't know. The last time I think Dak talked stuff is when he was playing for Mississippi State and it was on spring break and things went awry. Do you remember that video?
Yeah, but he still made it to Dallas.
He did. All right. So who would be your top 3 then? Because I have to do this in 6 days.
I mean, my top 3 probably wouldn't even. I mean, they might be in the top 5, but they wouldn't be. I wouldn't pick. Would not vote for the winner. I would not vote for CJ Stroud. I've said this from the beginning. I don't think CJ Stroud is that good. I think he's on a really good team, and I think that's why they've been so successful. And they played Michigan and got trounced. I mean, got destroyed. So I
just so you know, that contention is out there with some voters that I've talked to. Even before the Michigan game, a lot of people thought that CJ Stroud was overrated. So, all right, I'm taking those 2 out. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Okay.
So I'm taking those 2 out. Who's your top 3 then? Putting you on the spot.
You're taking out CJ Stroud and you're taking out Caleb Williams?
Yes, because I think you will.
I will take out Caleb Williams because of his just. I'm so sick of seeing Heisman winners that are bad, that have bad character, that end up being an embarrassment to the Heisman Trophy. Like, I'm tired of seeing that. If you don't have a good character on and off the field, I don't think you should be in the Heisman. That's my thing. I would have, if I had to do it right now, God, that's so hard.
Here's where I'm going. So I'm a mix of everything we've talked about. I mean, I don't particularly like Caleb Williams, but I would have to pick him number 1 at this point. And I'm not saying this is my final vote. I'm going to dig. I always dig into this. So if anybody the Heisman trusts, you're not supposed to give away your vote before it's announced. So, but as of right now, and it could very well change, I think I would be. Yeah, I want to see more of the kid at TCU too. I guess I'm really uncertain, which is probably not the best way to go into this, but I'm definitely not Stetson Bennett. I'm definitely not CJ Stroud, so I can rule those two out. Because Stetson Bennett would be the career award, which I'm afraid a lot of people are going to do in a year of a lot of good contenders. So I'd probably, if you press me on it, I'd probably go Caleb, Dugan, Hooker. It's probably what I would do at this point.
So you'd put Caleb at 1?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
Sorry, I'm not trying to judge. I'm just
No, I know. I feel like I
no.
don't like him, but it's the right thing to do by the.
See, I also don't like the fact that he left his team high and dry. I don't like that either.
I don't like that either.
I know, but like there's a lot of things, and again, it's just my opinion. There's a lot of things about Caleb Williams that rubs me the wrong way. I feel like we've seen this story over and over and over and over again in the Heisman. He's just, I don't like his character, and that would be a big, big red flag for me. Like the same reason I wouldn't have given it to Johnny Manziel. I don't like his character. Baker Mayfield. I did not like Baker Mayfield's character at, when he was at Oklahoma and grabbing his junk and all that stuff. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't think people or football players with that kind of character should be awarded a trophy like that. I don't think you should be rewarded that, because that, I feel like that teaches other up and coming players that it's okay and that it's acceptable and people love it when you do things like that. Like the nails, like F off or whatever it said. That's just, why?
It was
Like,
I was at F Notre Dame.
yeah, what's the point? I would, my 3, I'll give you my 2. I'll give you 2. I would have Hendon Hooker and I'd have Bryce Young. For, if nothing else, they killed it at their respective programs. Without them, like you said, Alabama would have 4 losses without Bryce Young, if not more than that. Without Hendon Hooker, I feel like Tennessee would have probably 4 losses, if, again, not more than that. So I would put Hendon Hooker at 1 just because of what he was able to do with the talent he had around him. I'd have Bryce Young at number 2. And honestly, I think I'd probably, as sad as this is, I would put Michigan's quarterback at 3.
You don't have Dugan anywhere there?
No, not really. I just don't. The Big 12 thing burns me, and I know it shouldn't, but it does, and that's probably why I'm not a Heisman voter. But I think the 3 that I picked, I like them because of their leadership.